focused on business with marketing?
Yeah, so got a marketing degree. And again, my idea at the time was like, just work for some great firm. So I feel, again, I always tell people like the dots always connect, whether you're not passionate about where you're at, but like go
Yeah.
work, go do experience life, because my love for marketing and like what I learned, I absolutely is like huge piece of real estate.
100%. I mean,
It,
there one of my big influence mentors. I mean, it was the coaching program that I was fortunate to be a part of when I got into the business. But Mike Reese always talks about the best marketer wins. In real estate, the best marketer wins,
mhm,
right?
yeah,
Sales skills, all that stuff. Is that important? Yes. But the number one thing, in his opinion, that's the most important is marketing.
absolutely. And that starts with marketing yourself, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and your brand and your influence, that's everything.
Yeah.
So no matter what, like whether you're in sales or not, like your brand, your identity, it's how people remember you.
So you're going through college and you're doing, various jobs. Fill me in once graduate.
I did, yes.
Graduate. So fill me in kind of on the next couple steps, of your career.
Yeah. So my best friend I met in freshman year of college, and she was a master negotiator. I was pretty set on like moving to a big city. I just wanted to experience a different city before moving back to Ohio. So I had some friends in college from Chicago, but sure enough, Erin, she's like, come to Louisville, Kentucky, which we would go like a couple weekends just to get out of town, out of campus life once in a while. And her parents were dentists. And huge examples for me. I mean, her mom like taught me all about like wine, and they love to travel. So just like again, we ended up moving into her parents' house after we graduated until we started staying out too late, eating all their food, and they're like, "Get the heck out! Go get an apartment, you two." So
Yeah.
yeah. So I'm so thankful though, because I ended up again 2008. I'm like on LinkedIn, like looking for jobs, and um, I actually stumble upon a company there uh, that was a mortgage company. So I actually did. I was more on the refinance side, but rather than the purchase business. But
Yeah.
I didn't know what an appraisal was. I didn't know how to calculate payments, but sure enough, I again dots connected. I absolutely stay. I know my lane as a realtor, but I know enough to be deadly
Yeah.
on the lending side.
I gotta ask, because you said '08. What was that like going into the financing world at that time?
Well, it was tough because again, it was my first taste of commission only, and it was more of a call center. So it was like all these leads coming in. It
Sure.
wasn't like meeting people face to face. So you had to be really good and personable on the phone, which is really hard to do these days. Um, but I'm so thankful. My boss, Matt, to this day, we stay in touch. He was like a former Navy SEAL. And every month after month, I was like this little runt. And it was like all these like pros on the team. And he told me, I remember going to him, I was like, Matt, I want to make $10,000 a month. Like, I just want to do it. So he's like, all right, you gotta follow what I like. Here's Saturday morning. He's like, I'll bring the donuts and coffee, but you better be here at like 7 a.m. So, because we had like leads like California,
Yeah.
East Coast. So, anyways, that month I made like just over 11, and he was just so proud. And again, I've been always coachable and just humble enough to know, even to this day, that I don't have all the answers. None of us do. So,
Yeah.
but be open to learning every day.
Hey, I mean, I think anyone that can start in, whether it's the service industry, bartenders, waitresses, waiters, whatever, they have the people skills, right? I think the other best option is if you can cut your teeth on phone skills.
Oh my
You
God.
know, like it's so important. It's just a huge part of our business of what we do, and the fact that you're able to do that, and the fact that you had a mentor that was willing to commit to you as well. That
Absolutely. Yeah.
to show you, hey, it's doable. Here's what you have to do, and then, like you said, you're coachable, right? Like, all right, cool. If you say it, let's do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. And I feel like I'm at that point in like getting to that point in my career where I'm feeling like this, like calling to coach,
Yeah,
like maybe not this year, next year, but like it's eventually
to
to
serve, to
yeah, to
serve.
serve and to help people because I know throughout my career, whether it was that, the mortgage to real estate, I've had people that believed in me and helped me. And it's a huge gift. So
What was that like going right out of college into a commission based business? I mean, because I did the same thing, but I just did it to real estate. You did it to financing.
did you
Uh,
in real estate right after college?
yeah, so I went to Ohio State, and my degree is technically sports and leisure studies, which is your options are either like gym teacher, or you go in and start working for like the Blue Jackets or Clippers or whatever, and you sell season tickets. And I got out in 2011. And of course, I was a cocky 21-year-old. And I was like, man, my degree's worth more than $7 an hour, whatever they're paying, right? And I was like, if I'm going to sell something, I should sell something more. And that's how I got into the mindset of getting into the real estate, was really flipping houses.
Okay.
3 weeks after graduation, got into real estate. Didn't
That's
even didn't
easy.
even interview for my job for anything I went to school for. I was like, screw it.
Isn't it funny? Like we paid all that money to go to college. I mean, it's a great experience.
Yeah.
That's wild. I again, I'm like, I felt late in the game getting licensed at like I was 30, and
Yeah.
so um, but like so after I left the mortgage company, I decided I wanted to be back home, closer to family. I was there about 3 years, but um, kind of fast forwarding to my next move, I had quit. I had gotten a job at UBS Financial, which again, I had met someone in Louisville, Kentucky that he worked at UBS. He made the connection, the Upper Arlington office right off of
Yep.
Henderson Road.
Yep.
So, relationships, right? And so I worked there and worked for like one of the top financial advisors in the country at the time.
Oh,
And
wow.
again, that was like the wheels that started turning of I'm like my like internal compass was like, all right, I want to like be in business for myself. But again, it took me a little while to figure that out. But my boss, I loved just like he traveled so much. He lived in this like high rise in downtown and he like would go out to dinner with his clients because I would see his expenses. Yeah. And so I'm just like, I was more in a client assistant role for him at the time. And I did like a little bit of marketing and worked on the mortgage side for like the wealth
Mhm.
management. There was a mortgage platform within UBS, but I, it's funny because it was like a couple years in and I was like, I just cannot do this 9 to 5 corporate. Like I just can't do it. But I found this program, which I thought was, again, going to be like my next path. I started studying online to be a holistic health coach. I have
Okay.
rheumatoid arthritis. I got it 13, and it's been like a blessing and a curse because I'm like, oh my God, I have arthritis. I'm like an old woman. but, but it opened my mind into like really looking at health
Yeah.
is as a whole. Because just like you, John, if you are not happy and healthy, it's like that affects everyone. You can't be a good father, husband, friend.
Yep.
You can't service your clients to the best of your ability if you're not healthy
Yeah.
physically and mentally.
Yeah.
So anyways, I started getting just super stressed at this job. It wasn't because like I had amazing people that I worked with, colleagues, but there was just something internally. I was like, I'm not fulfilling, my path and like my desires. And so I started studying on this online on the side. So I'd work 9 to 5 and like study at night. And when I finished the program, I was like, okay, I started creating like wellness newsletters. All my friends were like, this is, you like are so destined to do this. Well, so I decided I quit my job. So talking about servers and like
Yeah.
mentioned, um, everyone thought I was crazy, but I like quit this like high salary job, and I was like, I'm gonna go wait tables until I figure out like build my wellness coaching business.
Yeah.
So it was the best decision though ever. I worked for Cameron Mitchell. Shout out Cameron Mitchell. He is, again, I just a huge inspiration to me. I mean, clearly the man knows service and hospitality.
Right.
Anyone can apply. Like, I think he has a book out. It's like, oh my gosh. I mean, his whole philosophy in every one of his restaurants is like, yes is the answer. What's the question? Basically, like, just as us as realtors, it's like, no is no, figure it out. We're problem solving every day.
Right.
I know that's a long-winded answer, but do you see a pattern? I was just like,
So,
oh,
well, it's just interesting because, I was, connecting the dots as you're, going through the journey. And that's the first stop, right? Mortgage. Boom. Learn phone skills, learn sales, right? Learn commission-based, business. Learned real estate really just on one side of it. And then, you go to the UBS and I think there, from the story, I think you saw what's possible with a lifestyle, right?
yeah,
That's what I took away when you're telling that story is like, hey, here's what's possible from some of that lifestyle, but you weren't necessarily fulfilled doing that. And then, waiting tables and trying to then build your own business doing that way. That's sacrifice, right? It's hey, I have to make this move to get to where I want to get to eventually. And learning again, bartenders, waiters, waitresses, people skills, right? It's,
yeah,
reading people, right? When they come into the restaurant, are they having a bad day, having a great day? Are they, this, that, or the other? How to overcome objections with, bad food or whatever the case may be, right? And handle that. So,